The Mermaid Legacy by Sims 4 Lizzie UK, Gen 0, Chapter 5. Keoni was very happy with his life in Sulani. His closest friend was Tana Nyata, who lived not far away, and the boys often hung out after school. One evening, Tana and Keoni walked back from school together, and while Kailani went inside to get straight on with her homework, Keoni and Tana went to play on the swings. They had a competition to see who could go higher, and it was a pretty close call, but they both had lots of fun. Keoni always enjoyed hanging out with Tana. They had a friendship typical of teenage boys, with a lot of joking around and very little talking about serious stuff, but Keoni really valued his friendship with Tana, and he always loved having him around. After they declared the swing battle a draw, they went to build a sandcastle. They chatted a little about school as they gathered the sand, and Tana also mentioned that his 14th birthday was only a couple of months away. They excitedly started making plans for the birthday party. 14 felt like a big step up. Keoni's birthday wouldn't be long after Tana's, but of course, Tana's birthday came first, so that was their main topic of conversation at the moment. The boys were both very excited to be 14. After Tana went home, Keoni came inside where his dad and auntie were sitting down at the dining room table. He came to sit down with them and Maleko smiled at him. "Hey kid, did you and Tana have a nice time?" "Yeah, we built a sandcastle. We were talking about Tana's birthday party as well." Leilani laughed. "Isn't Tana's birthday months away?" "Only 2 months. It's really close. Then we'll both be going off to high school." "You're right," Maleko admitted. "It really isn't that far off. My baby boy all grown up and going to high school." "I'm not a baby," Keoni protested, and Maleko chuckled, ruffling his son's hair affectionately. "I know you're not, son. Don't grow up too fast, though." The next morning, Leilani was sitting at the dining room table, eating her breakfast, when Kailani came in to get something to eat before school. "Morning, Auntie Lani," she greeted her brightly, coming to sit down opposite her. "Good morning, my favourite niece. Looking forward to school today?" "Yeah, it'll be okay." "Ooh, what are you having for breakfast?" "Some leftover Kalawa pork from our meal last night. Someone's got to eat it." "Is there any more?" Kailani asked hopefully, and Leilani laughed. "We've been having it so much I'd have thought you'd be sick of it." "There's more in the fridge. You can just pop it in the microwave." "Thank you," Kailani replied as she got up and headed in the direction of the fridge. "I'd never get bored of it," she added. "It's a nice meal, and Mum used different spices this time." Leilani shook her head fondly. Kailani was really into her cooking. Maybe she'd be a chef one day. Who knew? Now that both of the kids were at school during the day, and Leilani and Maleko both had work, Iolana felt like she wasn't quite sure what to do with herself. She was so used to having kids to look after. Her babies were growing up quickly. They could look after themselves now much more than they used to be able to. She decided that a swim would do her some good, so she headed out at the back and dove into the sea. After swimming around for a little bit, her dolphin friend Delphina came to visit her. Iolana smiled fondly as she moved in to stroke Delphina. She loved her dolphin friend. Delphina made an affectionate noise, and she stayed to play with Iolana for a bit before disappearing back off into the water. Iolana sighed as she watched her swim away. There wasn't much to do now. Unless, a mischievous grin coming onto her face, Iolana set off back towards the shore. She was at home by herself. No one had to know. She went over to the kids' swings and sat down. Laughing, she swung up and down a bit, taking in the island around her as she did so. She remembered. She used to play on the swings with Maleko and Leilani when they were kids. She'd always been close with the Costas. Even though she felt it was probably a little pathetic playing on her children's swings while they were at school, it brought back a lot of happy memories for Iolana, and she felt better for it afterwards. Before long, the kids were home from school. Keoni was a little frustrated because he'd been excited to tell Kailani some big news, but she'd just called out, "Race you home," and run off. He was a little breathless from trying to catch up with her. She was a fast runner, but nothing could really destroy his good mood. "I win," Kailani cried triumphantly as they made it back to Sapphire Shores, and Keoni grinned. "Or maybe I actually win, because I got an A in school." Kailani's eyes widened, and then she beamed. "That's great, Keoni, I'm so proud of you. Well done." She went over to give him a hug in congratulations, murmuring as an afterthought, "I still won the race, though." "I know you did," Keoni laughed, "but thanks, Kai." The kids headed inside where Iolana was in the kitchen having some food, and they both got out their homework as per usual when they got home. I got an A, Mum, Keoni rejoiced, and Iolana smiled proudly, but unsurprised. That's wonderful, Keoni. I knew you could do it, and I'm so proud of you, sweetie. I'm the best at school, Keoni declared as he put his pen back to the paper, and Kailani snorted. You're not the best. You only just got an A. You are doing well, though. Well done, Keoni. You love me, really, Keoni responded, unaffected by his sister's teasing. You know I do, she answered, rolling her eyes and smiling, not looking up from her homework. That night, Iolana thought she'd go out and take the Aquasit for a run. She let out a sigh as she fired up the engine. Everyone else in the family was doing so well, and she was feeling a little unfulfilled, like the kids didn't need her that much anymore. Being a mum was the only thing she'd done for so long. She just needed to start getting out a bit more. She'd find stuff she enjoyed. This was a good thing. She'd have her life back. She loved her life as a stay-at-home mum, though. Iolana's passion was caring for her family, being the perfect wife and mother. She adored domestic life. She needed to find other things she enjoyed, though. There was so much more she could do. She loved music. Maybe she could go free diving and search the ocean floor. That'd be fun. Maybe she should talk to Maleko about all of this. It would be okay. She'd get used to the way things were now. The next morning, Maleko and Leilani both had to be in work quite early, so they had breakfast and left before it was fully light. Maleko was glad of his sister's company in the morning now. So, Leilani grinned, big day at work today. Maleko nodded. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. He hesitated a little, his smile fading. Leilani, do you think Iolana's all right? I'm a bit worried about her. She didn't seem quite herself last night. Leilani contemplated Maleko's words before shrugging. I think she's okay. It's probably just a bit difficult adjusting to both kids being at school. But you know Iolana, she'll be fine. Just do everything you normally do and it'll work out. You're a great husband. I've seen you two together. It'll be okay. Maleko nodded again, feeling a little better. All right. Thanks, Leilani. A little later in the morning, Keoni and Kailani came into the kitchen to get some cereal before school. How's Mr. Big Fancy A student? Kailani asked, grinning. A bit nervous, actually, Keoni admitted. I have to keep it up now. Oh, that won't be a problem, Kailani replied straight away and with confidence. You're doing great, Keoni. You'll smash the test. Thanks, he muttered, and looking back to his cereal. Once they'd finished, Kailani gave him a quick hug before dashing off to get her bag, and Keoni managed to smile. He was glad he had his sister. Home alone again, Iolana decided to go out for another swim. The weather wasn't great, but she'd never minded the rain. She couldn't just stay inside all monsoon season after all. The cool water felt good on her scales, and Iolana was feeling much more optimistic this morning. Today was a good day. It would be a good day. She leapt out of the water and dove back in, a graceful arc as the rain poured down. She came up and swam around the surface a bit, letting the rain run through her hair and trickle down her back. She actually quite enjoyed swimming when the weather was like this. It was refreshing, even invigorating. The water always helped her see straight. She should be proud, not just of her children's achievements, but of her own achievements. She had a nice life, and that was something she'd built for herself. She was doing well. Her smile widened as she heard a familiar squealing noise from across the bay, and she turned to meet Delphina. The dolphin approached fast, and Iolana beamed. When Delphina arrived, Iolana kissed her gently on the beak in greeting. Hey you! Want some treats? I saved some food for you. Delphina agreed enthusiastically, and Iolana went to fetch the little bits of fish she'd saved for Delphina from last night's tea. Iolana knew she couldn't spend all her time talking to a dolphin, but she did enjoy playing with Delphina. She should probably go and make some friends. That would be a better way to pass her time. But she realised, as she threw treats for Delphina to catch, that she shouldn't be so hard on herself. She was doing well, and she shouldn't forget it. It was probably a good idea to get out a bit more, maybe go to the main beach, maybe run some errands for the other locals. But Iolana was happy. Life for her family was good. She had to remember that. Hi everyone, thanks for coming back for another video, and I'm so sorry for the quality of the audio today. I just cannot seem to talk normal English. I actually used the word truffled in another attempt to record this voiceover. So yeah, this was one of the better ones, even though I did still trip over my words quite a bit. I'm sorry about that. I'm just very tired, and I don't know what it is, but my food is going to be ready in a couple of minutes, so I don't have time to re-record another time. But yeah, sorry. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I think it's nice that Keoni's got another friend his age. There aren't a lot of kids in Sulani, but yeah, Tana and Keoni are about the same age. So it's nice that they've got that friendship, and hopefully it will stay like that as they grow up. We will have to see, but thank you for coming back. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a nice day.